All right, guys, you know how we do. Let's get it.
Mr. Gigapush?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think he's afraid of my shadow. Why you be like me? I'm brave because I fear nothing when I am in the right. Whoever pushes me around will find me full of fight. I fear nothing when I do nothing wrong.
Sing along.
And so I toddle on my way and sing a merry song.
All right, what's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. Guys, being that I heard some guys on my job talking about this, and it became a spirited debate, I figure I'll talk about this, even though easily this has got to be the stupidest, most dumbest topic. And I've covered some dumb topics in my time, but this has got to be the dumbest topic I have ever covered. The fact that this is even a thing means that we have reached peak idiocracy in our fine society that we live in today, in this your Lord's year of 2025. What am I talking about? Obviously, I'm talking about the Sydney Sweeny controversy that happened over the last week. Like I said, I was laying back in the cut. I wasn't really going to say much about it, but being that people actually cannot see the psyop that's being run on them, I figured let me just do a little video before I go into work just to clear up a few things for people who might be confused about what's going on here. Now, first of all, guys, some of you, and I'm talking about Black people here, some of you might have noticed the way this is being framed. Like you hear people saying that it's liberals and the Blacks who are upset about this. Liberals and the Blacks. I got to stop you right there, Bucko. You do realize that the so-called Blacks are liberal, we're conservative. You know, to just say liberals and the Blacks, it's like if you're at a baseball game and saying the crowd and the Blacks are going wild. Voters and the Blacks turned out to vote today. Like, why do they separate the Blacks from the liberals if the Blacks are liberals and there are also conservative Blacks? They want people to believe that this is something that all Blacks are calling for, okay? So on that line, guys, let me just share something with you guys, all right? First of all, let's start off by talking about what the actual issue is going on here. So you got people.com, and they're just breaking down Sydney Sweeney's controversial American Eagle ad explained. So there you see the undeniably hot Sydney Sweeny in her ad. Now, listen, guys, I'm old. I grew up at a time when jean commercials used to come on all the time. You used to see Brooke Shields. I remember freaking underwear commercials. Mark Wahlberg used to come on with his tidy whities. You know what I mean? And nobody got in their feelings about these hot people modeling their clothes, their wares. We understood that it was about models. Now, let's see what they're talking about here real quick. Sydney Sweeney's new American Eagle campaign is sparking a heated online debate over its perceived messaging. Okay, so let's see. The tagline of the campaign, Sydney Sweeny has great genes, has prompted critics to claim that the usage of the word genes as a play on genes, Genes, is racially charged and hints at genetic superiority. Others are slamming the campaign for catering to the male gaze, right? Like we're just so afraid of sexuality these days, at least heterosexual sexuality. You know, if it's homosexuality, well, then anything goes. If it's transsexuality, show it. Read to the kids, spread eagle in front of them. You know what I mean? But heterosexuality, the male gaze, males actually being attracted to females, that for some reason is something we just can't have. Even though I hate to tell you this, guys, but the continuance of the human species actually depends on males and females being attracted to one another. All right. Not homosexuals, not bisexuals, not transsexuals, but heterosexuals. So it's kind of funny to me that this is where we find ourselves, demonizing the attraction between heterosexual people. All right. But anyway, let's go down here and let's see here that once again, there you have Sydney Sweeny doing what it is that she does. All right, being young, being hot. Now, the ad, you see Sydney Sweeny, she's zipping up her jeans while lying down. And she says, genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color, she says as the camera pans to her face. My genes are blue. Then a narrator in voiceover says, Sydney Sweeny has great genes. Now, some critics claim the usage of the word genes as a play on genes, Genes, hints at eugenics. All right. So it's broadly defined as selective breeding to improve the human race. It has been discredited as junk science. Now, of course, man, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, okay? I can say that Sydney Sweeny is young, she's hot, but fellas, you've seen hotter, okay? Like, honestly, guys, it's like if I walk down the street, walk down the mall, you know, something like that, chances are you're going to see somebody as hot or hotter than Sydney Sweeny. Undeniably, she has a nice rack. She has a pretty decent face card. You know, she's attractive. She is. You know, she's pleasing to the eye. And why that would be threatening, you know, to other people, to anybody else, is beyond me. But once again, what I was talking about as far as the blacks, I've seen plenty of black women who are hotter than Sydney Sweeny. I've seen plenty of white women who are hotter than Sydney Sweeny. She is hot, she is young, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I would say, I dare say, that the only people who are invested in discrediting this or bashing it or demonizing it would be ugly liberals. All right. And I include the blacks in that. Okay. Ugly liberal white people, ugly liberal black people, the American Society of Magical Liberals. You guys hear me talking about this all the time. But once again, they're trying to use this to pit people against each other. And thus you have people all over social media talking about it's okay to be white. It's okay to be white. And of course it is. It is okay to be white. I hate to tell you guys, but white people have the right to be proud to be white. They have the right to be proud of the white aesthetic. They have the right to be proud of white values, as it may be, whatever it may be. Black people have the right to be proud to be black. Chinese people, Asian people have the right to be proud to be Asian. Latino people have the right to be proud. Indian people, every human being has the right to be proud of who they are. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. If she values or they value their genes, so be it. That's fine. You know, but I want to show you guys something real quick, okay? We have idiots, right? Idiots, absolute idiots who never get tired of embarrassing themselves or black people, like Mr. Mark Lamont Hill here, who was on Piers Morgan. And at this point, I think Piers Morgan just keeps this clown on there just so people can laugh at him. He went the hell off, crying the way he always does. You guys know I covered him before talking about the N-word. But check this dude out, guys. All right, real quick. I want you to see what this idiot does. Check it out.
You used the word normal and talked about it in the context of this white woman. White women are normal, but so are other people. The problem is, historically, we have only normalized white people. And so we've made white women's bodies, white male bodies, the norm. And we've made everything else less human, less beautiful, less real. And so when we say...
Who is we? We made everything else less normal, less human. Okay, if there is a white standard, if there is a white ideal in pop culture, it would be because maybe there are white people who are running the culture or whatever, and they're going to uplift who they uplift. Once again, there's nothing wrong with that. When you go on to black platforms, so-called black platforms, predominantly black platforms, I would hope that you would uplift your standard of beauty. But you don't see that coming from us. See, what so-called white people are doing what they're supposed to do. All right. If you're white, you should value your standard of beauty. You absolutely should. If you're black, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's finish what this idiot has to say as people begin to laugh at them. You see this chick right here, her face card. I mean, to me, she's cuter than Sydney Sweeny. She's not white, she's Jewish, but still, I'm just saying, it's like, for an example, okay, now moving on.
Good genes are the ones that...
load of crap. Honestly, I'm sorry, Mark. If I may jump in on my own show, what a load of crap. I saw Beyonce do a jeans ad. Everybody drooled over it.
Yes, Beyonce did a jeans ad. I'm going to talk about Beyonce in a minute. But first of all, I got a burning question. Is this guy wearing eyeshadow? Like, this dude is a bitch in every sense of the word. I mean, I hate to say it because I don't know the dude, but he comes on here acting like he's talking for Black people. And I can tell you for a fact, Black people do not care about Sydney Sweeney's ad. The majority of right-thinking Black people that are not being heavily influenced by the American Society of Magical Liberals, that is, don't care about Sydney Sweeny or her jean ad. We just don't. Unfortunately, they keep putting motherfuckers like him in front of the American people for the sole purpose of trying to act like, for some reason, we do. He doesn't listen. Look at me. He doesn't represent Black people. I don't represent Black people. I represent myself. Okay. And a lot of Black people do. That's the reason why we are not a monolith. But you got this fucker on here trying to act like he does with his eyeshadow. All right, let's wrap this up. I'm already late for work.
I loved it. Thought she looked hot, but she did. Right? I mean, what are you talking about, man? This is. Let me ask you a straight question. Let me ask you a straight question. Does Sydney Sweeny have bad genes? Yes or no?
No, I don't think she has bad genes.
So she has good
What's
genes.
your point?
Does she have good genes?
No. Again, you're trying for these gotchas. If you
So she doesn't have good or bad genes.
The whole point is to argue that good and bad genes itself is a bad idea. It's a racist
Why can't
idea.
you have good genes,
Why
Mark?
is it racist?
Why can't you have good genes?
Okay, all right. That's enough out of that guy. All right, see, this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about, guys. He's an absolute clown. And of course, as you can see, he ends up being the only Negro on here, and a bunch of white people end up laughing at him. You know, once again, this is a constant with this guy, and he claims to be speaking for Black people. I'm here to tell you he does not. Okay, but getting into the whole Beyonce thing, I just want to point something out here. It's the song Sorry by Beyonce. Everyone knows this. Back in 2016, she dropped this song, and it says, sorry, I ain't sorry, I ain't sorry, I ain't sorry, nigga. Nah, sorry, I ain't sorry, I ain't sorry, I ain't sorry. But the point that I want to talk about is the end of the song, and we all know this by now. All right. She says, I left a note in the hallway. By the time you read it, I'll be far away. I'm far away, but I ain't fucking with nobody. Let's have a toast to the good life. Suicide before you see this tear fall down my eyes. Me and my baby, we gonna be all right. We gonna live a good life. Big homie better grow up. Me and my woadies about to stroll up. I see my boppers in the corner. They sneaking out the back door. He only want me when I'm not here. He better call Becky with the good hair. He better call Becky with the good hair. Okay? Why would I bring this up? Black people are the last people who will ever, if you need proof that Black people don't care about Sydney Sweeny and her good genes, Black people are the last people who would be objecting to such a thing. Remember, we are the people. Someone can tell me if I'm wrong. Please tell me if I'm lying in the comment section. We are the first people who will tell somebody that they have good hair or they have bad hair. Talk about Beyonce. When's the last time you saw Beyonce with her natural hair? All right, even when she couldn't do the Beyonce has good genes ad. She did an ad for American Eagle, but she couldn't say that because she wasn't rocking her good genes, not her good GENES. No, she has her, you know, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just trying to prove that we are the most tolerant. We are the most ardent believers in genetics. Believe me, guys, there's actually technology out there now that will help you design your babies in the future. I've always said it's going to be a problem when we finally get that technology because you're going to see people like me disappear. All right. Black people, like I said, we talk about good and bad hair. We talk about fair skin. We talk about light skin. You know, you got good skin. You got good light skin. I know Black women personally who insisted on having a light-skinned 2 white man so that their baby would be a light-skinned baby. They insisted on it. Nothing wrong with that, guys. I'm just saying it's a reality. Not judging anybody. Light-skinned people are beautiful. White people are beautiful. Dark-skinned people are beautiful. It took me a long time to understand that because I grew up in a society that really told us that, you know, oh, you black ass, so you better not marry nobody else dark skin. You have some black ass babies, you know, talk about bad hair and everything like that. It's just a fact, guys. We believe in genetic superiority, as is evidenced by our lifestyle. All right. So we couldn't possibly be that, you know, objecting to the whole idea of Sydney Sweeny having good genes, because we believe Sydney Sweeny has good genes. You know, what do you think Serena Williams lightened up her skin for? You got so many black people out here who are bleaching their skin. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that's the reality of it. All right. But if you do, for the people who are objecting to this, I just want to ask you something. And you guys know, I've been talking about, you know, as far as the image of black people being a problem for a long time. It's like, why do we accept such poor representation of ourselves? You know, if white people want to uplift Sydney Sweeny, or if anyone wants to uplift Sydney Sweeny and she's young and she's hot, I don't see a problem with it. The only thing that I have to ask you guys is why we don't have a problem with people uplifting lesser than images of black women. Look, I don't know if you guys have noticed this. We have these statues that have been popping up all around the world, all around the globe, of, shall we say, stereotypical black women, all right, overweight black women who look like they have attitudes. For some reason, we have one in Ontario, we have one in New York, Times Square, we have one in New Jersey. Believe it or not, we have one in Italy. Italy. Why would you have one in Italy? But there it is, guys. And for some reason, a lot of us don't seem to understand, once again, that we are the butt of the joke. There are so many hot, attractive black women. Guys, the hottest black woman, I think, and I've seen a lot of them, but I remember watching Michael Jackson's Keeping in the Closet video, Naomi Campbell. Every time I watch that video, it leaves me breathless. Breathless, I tell you. All right. And maybe I'll leave the link to that in the pinned comment below. But guys, it is amazing. All right, how we just accept any old representation. If they want to throw us up on the screen as criminals, we gotta represent that. We have to support that. We have to start questioning the way that we're represented by this industry. Then maybe we won't be crying about the fact that Sydney Sweeny has great genes, once we start representing ourselves as also having great genes, all right, where we can be seen as attractive to the eye and attractive to the senses. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. So listen, I'm already late for work, but somebody had to speak some common sense into this situation. And since I had people on my workroom floor arguing about it, I figured I'd sound off about it. Okay, so anyway, guys, there it is. You can get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about all of this. As always, you can like, you can share, and you can subscribe, guys. If you want to contribute to the channel, you can do so by hitting the Super Thanks feature on each and every one of my videos. And also, there is a Cash App link in the pinned comment below. Guys, thank you so much for being here. And remember, make sure you stay subscribed, okay, because YouTube, they go to work on my channel, guys. I cannot tell you enough what they do with me, but I appreciate you being here, guys. As always, like, share, subscribe. I said all that. Okay, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for putting up with me. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C.